The Sangguniang Bayan of Reyna Mercedes will act its quasi-judicial function and perform as court in the proceedings against the complaints to certain barangay official. The members of the Sangguniang Bayan of Reyna Mercedes, headed by the Honorable Vice Mayor, Attorney Harold Gerald Respicio, shall be the judge or the juries against administrative case for disciplinary action. The Honorable Roderick Cruz, Counsel for the Defense, and Honorable Jonathan F. De La Cruz for the complainant.
This court, composed of the members of the Council of the Municipality of Reyna Mercedes, is called to order. Let us stand in prayer, please. Madam Kudaran, kindly.
Manalangin po tayo. Panginoon po naming Diyos, salamat po ng marami sa iyo sa tulong at patnubay mo sa bawat isa sa amin. Taglay pa namin ang aming hiram na buhay at lakas, maging ang karapatang maglingkod sa iyong banal na pangalan. Salamat din sa mga biyaya mo araw-araw, aming Diyos, sa mga paglalakbay namin sa mundong ito. Ikaw po ang nag-ingat sa bawat isa sa amin. Naway, patawarin mo rin po ang bawat isa sa amin upang kalugdan ka ng iyong banal na pangalan. Narito po kami sa iyong banal na harapan. Naway, basbasan mo po ang bawat isa sa amin. Ipagkaloob mo po sa amin ang karunungan, maging ang maliksing pangunawa o aming Diyos, upang makapagbigay kami ng lugod sa iyong napakadakilang mo pong pangalan. Basbasan mo po ang bawat isa sa amin. Ibabakod mo sa amin ang kapayapaan upang ang pag-usapang ito ay makapagpatuloy po pa kami sa ginagawang mga paglilingkod sa iyo. Basbasan mo po ang nangunguna sa umagang ito. Basbasan mo po ang puso ng bawat isa. Pagkaloob mo sa amin ang mababang kalooban o aming Diyos upang masunod namin ang iyong mga kalooban nang naaayod lamang sa iyong banal na pangalan. Patawad muli sa nagawang mga pagkukulang at pagkakasala. Ang lahat ng ito'y hinihiling po namin sa pangalan ni Jesus na aming dakilang tagapagligtas.
Amen. Please join the national anthem, please. Take a seat, everyone. Alright, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagdalo sa hearing na ito. Maraming salamat po sa private complainant, sa kanyang abogado, sa ating respondent, at sa kanya ring abogado. Maraming salamat din po sa miyembro ng ating council sa pagdalo ngayong araw na ito para dinggin at para sa pagdinig dito sa disciplinary action na isinampa sa ating respondent. Maaari lamang pong enter your appearance Counsel, sir. The prosecution, please.
Good morning to the Honorable Presiding Officer and good morning to the august body. I am Attorney Jonathan F.D. de la Cruz, entering as counsel for complainant Tomasita Wee, represented by Leonida D.C. Wee.
The defense, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm Attorney Roderick M. Cruz, representing the respondent in this case. Your Honor, please.
Thank you so much, sir. And the private complainant and the respondent are present in these proceedings. The counsel for the prosecution, are you ready for your opening argument, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can address the judges, this body, right now. You can use the space, sir, in front of you. And you can carry the mic with you. And you can address our honorable judges.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sir, you can stand, sir. You can stand. Dito po sa open space sa harap na yan. Like, para kang nag-a-appeal sa jury. Parang pwede mong i-address yung mga judges natin dito. Yes. You can stand po dito sa harap. Dito po sa harap lang na space na yan. You can just hold the mic like this. If you like. I need the mic. Yan po. Pwede mo pong hawakan yung mic. Or you
The judges are the members. Again, good morning to the Honorable Presiding Officer, Your Honor, and to the members of this august body. This case, this administrative complaint is an offshoot when the respondent violated the lawful order of the courts, especially the decision in civil case number 1370. Because of that decision, the complainant was placed in possession because they were declared owners of the subject property in that case, which case or decision even went all the way to the Supreme Court. It is a final and executory judgment. We submit during the implementation of the writ of execution, implementing the decision in civil case number 1370, the respondent was likewise served a copy of the writ of execution because the respondent is a transferee pendente lite. So thereafter, the complainant was placed in possession over the subject land. However, the respondent re-entered the subject property and even destroyed the fence, concrete fence, removed the cylindrical concrete post to establish the metes and bounds of the subject land, and even destroyed the signages stating that it is a private property of the complainant, and a writ of execution was fully implemented, placing the complainant in possession of the property. We submit, Your Honor, that the respondent is liable for misconduct in dishonesty, oppression, misconduct in office, abuse of authority, and usurpation of real rights, Your Honor, which are punishable under the local government code. This is because he, being a barangay captain or punong barangay, he must be a model to the citizens of the Republic of the Philippines, especially his constituents and the residents of Reyna Mercedes, Your Honor. If he believes that he owns the property which was declared not by the Supreme Court itself, he should file the necessary case in court to address his grievances. That would be all, Your Honor.
Sa ating mga kagalang-galang na hukom, pwede po kayong magtanong. Okay po. Mr. Counsel, may tanong po ako.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ang distinct charges po ninyo, nababasa ko dito sa inyong complaint, ay 3. Meron pong items dito, A, B, C, D, E, pero ilump natin yung A, B, C.
Yes, Your Honor.
And dishonesty, oppression, and misconduct in office dahil nakalump sila doon sa local government code. That's number 1.
Yes, Your
The
Honor.
second charge is commission of an offense involving moral turpitude. At yung offense na tinutukoy ninyo, nasa inyong administrative complaint, ay number 1, trespassing, dahil pumasok siya sa isang lugar na nakabakod. Pangalawa, theft and or malicious mischief, dahil sinira niya yung mga bakod.
Yes, Your Honor.
At pangatlo ay usurpation of real rights, dahil kinuha niya yung mga karapatan ng complainant doon sa real property. At ang inyong pangatlong charge ay abuse of authority. Dahil para sa inyo, inabuso niya ang kanyang posisyon bilang kapitan sa kanyang mga ginawang bagay na ito. Tama po?
Yes, Your Honor. We confirm that one.
Meron po tayong 3 distinct charges. Ano po ang hinihingi ninyong parusa sa bawat isang charges na ito, sir?
For every violation, Your Honor, we pray that the respondent be removed from office and for him to be perpetually disqualified from public office, Your Honor.
Alright. Ano po ba yung status ng jurisprudence about sa mga allowed na penalties sa mga disciplinary action? Kasama po ba doon ang suspension? Kasama po ba doon ang removal from office?
Based on jurisprudence, Your Honor, we believe that removal is the gravest penalty, Your Honor. He can also be reprimanded. He can also be suspended, Your Honor,
Alright.
depending on the findings of this august body, Your Honor.
Okay po. Mamaya po, pagkatapos po ng ating proceedings, magboboto po ang bawat isa sa ating members ng council kung guilty or not guilty yung respondent sa bawat isa sa mga charges na ito. At sa bawat isa sa mga charges, sila po ay magre-recommenda kung anong sanction.
Yes, Your Honor.
Alright. Maraming salamat po. Meron po bang tanong mula sa ating kinatawan? Wala po. Defense Counsel, ready for your opening argument, sir? Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor. To this august body, good morning. To the spectators, good morning. The respondent, Your Honor, had already filed his answer. He was assisted by a different lawyer in the person of Attorney Dumlao from Santiago City. I am representing today the respondent for purposes of rebutting the charges against him. As pointed out by the Honorable Presiding Officer, Your Honor, there are 3 separate offenses being heard against the respondent: grave misconduct, grave abuse of authority, and other charges which involve common crimes such as trespassing, theft, malicious mischief, usurpation of real rights and properties. First of all, Your Honor, I would like to state for the record the roots why the administrative charges were heard against the respondent. In 2006, there was a complaint filed against the defendants, Simplicio Quitoras, spouses Teresita Quitoras, Federico Estoya, Pedrito Ramil, Aurea Dawag, the heirs of Clemente Andam, as represented by Leticia Andam, Mirna Gumiran, and Ireneo Dalawidaw Jr. The plaintiff in this particular civil case is Consolacion, represented by Valentin Wi and or Tomasita Wi Lim. And this civil case was docketed as civil case number 13-7 Isabela. After protracted trial, Your Honors, a decision was rendered by the Honorable Court adjudging in favor of the plaintiffs, thereby granting the prayers of the plaintiff by declaring as null and void the titles in the name of the defendants. Now, I would like to point out here clearly, Your Honors, that there are different titles involved in this particular civil case number 1370. Now, we have to distinguish which particular title belongs to a particular defendant in order to delineate the specific rights in interest over a specific defendant, over a specific property involved in this civil case number 1370. Now, I would like to be very specific here. Insofar as the respondent is concerned, he derived his right over a property covered by title of Clemente Andam. And this title, Your Honor, is OCT number 21024 in the name of Clemente Andam. In this Clemente Andam, please take note, Your Honors, that he's one of the defendants in this civil case 1370. The area covered by this title consists of more or less 9,000 plus square meters of agricultural land located at Dangan, Reina Mercedes, Isabela. Now, we'll go back to the decision rendered by the Regional Trial Court Branch 17, RTC Ilagan City, which was rendered in 2006. Now, after it was appealed to the Court of Appeals and later on to the Supreme Court, it went back to the Regional Trial Court Branch 17 for implementation because it has already become final and executory. And eventually, a writ of execution was issued by Branch 17, RTC Ilagan City, Isabela. Thereupon, Sheriff Malana implemented this writ of execution sometime in 2022, I believe. If my memory serves me right, it was implemented in 2022. Now, when Sheriff Malana implemented this writ of execution, it so happened that respondent, Barangay Captain Henry Respicio, was the sitting barangay captain of Dangan, Reina Mercedes, Isabela, and still a barangay captain. Now, his assistance was requested by Sheriff Malana. For me, Sheriff Malana, to implement the writ of execution by putting up poles and plugs around the subject property, subject of the property subject matter in civil case number 1370. But nowhere in the process of implementation can we see a specific act of Sheriff Malana in identifying the specific property subject of the writ of execution. There's a problem. We have to distinguish the specific possession of Respondent Henry Malana insofar as the implementation of this writ of execution is concerned. Now, as I pointed at the outset, Henry Respicio derived his rights, interests, and possession from Clemente Andam. Because this Clemente Andam sold the subject property covered by OCT 21024 to Henry Respicio and Pima Respicio, respectively. Now, when I browse over the records of civil case number 1370, I discovered that there was a return of service issued by Sheriff Malana, dated June 23, 2006, Your Honors. In this return of service, it specifies here that insofar as defendant Clemente Andam, as represented by Leticia Andam, is concerned, the summons as well as the complaint in civil case number 1370 was not duly served. So what does it imply then? If the summons or a complaint is not duly served to a specific defendant, the court did not acquire jurisdiction insofar as that specific defendant is concerned. So, if the proceedings before Branch 17 RTC Lagan City pushed through without Leticia Andam or any heir of Clemente Andam for that matter was not specifically summoned, then the court has no jurisdiction insofar as the heirs of Clemente Andam are concerned. But, nonetheless, the court proceeded in litigating the case until it reached the Supreme Court without the heirs of Clemente Andam being summoned, or they didn't even actively participate in the proceedings. Now, Your Honors, please, let us now consider the implementation of the writ of execution insofar as the respondent is concerned. Does he have the right to acknowledge or not acknowledge the implementation of the writ of execution? Yes, the writ of execution? Or he may just stay in his possession considering that he was not a privy to the case. He was not even summoned to the case. Considering that even before the filing of the case, in civil case number 1370 is concerned, he was already in possession of the subject property. And yet, he was not summoned. He was not given opportunity to ventilate his arguments, to ventilate his rights in court. And now, he is now being sued for not allegedly following the rule of law. Where is due process here? Should he be faulted for not participating in that civil case 1370, considering that he was not properly summoned? He was not even informed of the existence of this civil case 1370. Now, the complainant argued that he did not properly follow the rule of law. He disregarded, allegedly, the implementation of the writ of execution. But he was not particularly invited by the sheriff to assist him in the implementation of the writ in his capacity as a private individual, but in his capacity as barangay official. He was there as barangay official, but he was not there to participate in his capacity as private individual. He didn't know that the civil case number 1370 existed at all. He didn't know that his property right was affected by the civil case number 1370. Now, can he be faulted now for staying on the subject property, for asserting his right of possession over the subject property? Should he be faulted? Should he be removed from office? What is the connection of his performance of duty as public official with his right as a private individual who is in possession of the subject property? Now we have to trace it out carefully, Your Honors, please. We have to examine the facts of the case carefully, Your Honors. Now, should he be faulted for not asserting his rights when a writ of execution was implemented by Sheriff Malana? Remember, Your Honors, that this respondent is not schooled in the art of law. He does not know civil procedure. He does not know the rules of court. Should he be faulted for not knowing the rudiments of law? Of course not. It's very, very unfair and unreasonable. Now, since we are now representing the respondent here, Your Honor, we may attack the validity of the result of the decision of the court in so far as the land holdings of Clemente Andam is concerned. We still have ample opportunity to do that. The rules of court provides us legal remedies under these circumstances. There is this legal remedy for annulment of judgment. Because once a proceeding is void, it is always void from the very start up to the conclusion. That's our assertion, Your Honor, please. Now, with that, Your Honor, we are resting our case. Okay. We're resting our argument, subject to arguments later, should the need arises. You know.
Thank you so much, Defense Counsel, for that emphatic speech. Meron po bang tanong mula sa ating kinatawan? Wala po. Mr. Defense Counsel, yung nature ba ng tinutukoy mo na civil case, in rem o in personam?
In rem, Your Honor, because it involves ownership, issue on ownership.
Kapag in rem po ba, bound ang buong mundo?
Yes, insofar as those parties connected to the case is concerned. Your Honor, please.
Paradoxical yung sagot mo, sir. Bound ba ang mundo or yung parties lamang?
When it is
Kapag
in
in rem?
Of course, those who are privy to the case are bound, Your Honor.
Pero
Those who are bound.
kapag in rem po, pinatinutukoy natin yung ownership ng property,
ownership.
enforceable ito against the whole world, right?
Yes, Your Honor, but the indispensable parties must be impleaded, properly impleaded in the case. Like, for example, Your Honor, heirs of Clemente Andam. Who are the heirs of Clemente Andam? Were they impleaded, Your Honor? They are indispensable parties to the suit. They should have been impleaded to the suit, considering that the action is one in rem. They are indispensable parties, Your Honor. But nonetheless, they did not implead them.
All right. That will be, the prosecution will have an opportunity to rebut that later. Let's have another round of rebuttals after this.
Yes.
Sabi niyo po na yung attendance ng respondent doon sa enforcement ng writ ay in his official capacity, not in his personal capacity.
Yes, sir.
Hindi ba't mas lalong hina-highlight nun yung importance ng kanyang pagrespeto ng epekto ng writ na ina-award na sa particular na tao yung possession ng real property na yun against everyone, including himself? Hindi ba't kapag witness niya yung process na yun in his official capacity, mas malaki yung responsibilidad na nakapatong sa kanya para respetuhin yun?
Your Honor, please. He was merely invited by Sheriff Malana to witness the implementation of the writ. He was not invited in his capacity as then the present occupant of the subject property. As I mentioned a while ago, he's not schooled in the art of law. He does not know the rudiments of legal procedure, Your Honor, please. How could we fault him for that? He was not even advised by a lawyer because he was not given opportunity to be heard. His right to due process was not given importance, Your Honor. That's our point.
But does he know the rudiments of public service and respecting private rights? Because he knows fully well that when the writ was carried out, possession over that property was turned over to a private person, and he must respect that. Did he know that?
Your Honor, please, as I mentioned a while ago, there are 5 real properties affected by this writ of execution. And there was no specific mention in the writ of execution which particular property was being covered by this writ of implementation. Even the sheriff's attorney, Your Honor, did not specify that he was implementing a portion of that land being cultivated by respondent. Had he known that, Your Honor, most probably, and with speculation, he could have requested for assistance of a lawyer.
Noong pumunta po ba siya sa execution ng writ, hindi niya ba alam yung lupa na pinuntahan nila? Hindi ba niya nakita? Hindi po ba't pumunta siya sa site mismo? Hindi niya ba alam kung alin yung sakop mismo ng ina-execute ng writ?
Your Honor, please, perhaps the respondent is in the proper position to answer that. Your Honor, please.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Let's have another round of rebuttal. I think it's opportune. Just a short rebuttal from the prosecution and another opportunity for rebuttal from the defense later. And then let's join the issues after that. And let's identify the issues lamang na yung ating mga pieces of evidence and witnesses na addressing the issues only. All right, Mr. Prosecution, for your rebuttal, please.
Good morning. As a rebuttal, the counsel for the respondent states that the respondent is not privy to the civil case filed before the Regional Trial Court, Branch 17. While it may be true that he is not part, as I have stated during my opening statement, he is a transferee pendente lite. For the information of the honorable body, a transferee pendente lite is one who acquires interest while a case is pending in court in any judgment. Meaning to say, if the transferor is a party in the civil case, all the rights and interests of that transferor binds the transferee, as in this case, it is the respondent. So the respondent is bound by that decision. And the respondent also claims that he does not know the area or the specific meets and bounds of the area being claimed by the complainant. This is misleading. This is not true. When the case was implemented, the sheriff's return of service or report was submitted on December 12, 2022. And when it was implemented, the respondent was present. During the implementation, there was also a relocation survey, and that transpired on December 20, 2022. So, it is not correct to say that he does not know of the area of the property which was turned over possession to the complainant, Your Honor. The respondent claims that they have still legal remedy to question the decision which went all the way to the Supreme Court by filing an annulment of judgment before the Court of Appeals. This is true, Your Honor, and we respect that. But the respondent also must respect the rights of the complainant, Your Honor. They were put in possession. They even fenced the property. They placed notices that it is covered by a final and executory judgment, and the owners are the complainant, Your Honor. But what did he do, Your Honor? He's even a barangay captain. He knows this, Your Honor. He cannot assume or feign ignorance, Your Honor, that he does not know the law, that he does not know that he is uneducated. He is a barangay captain. He presides conciliation proceedings in the Lupon, Your Honor, during conciliation proceedings. So he cannot feign ignorance that he is now deprived of the property, and he is not part of the decision of the regional trial court, Your Honor. Actually, Your Honor, when the writ of execution was implemented by the sheriff, he even told the sheriff, Your Honor, the implementing sheriff, that part of the property awarded to the complainant is owned by him because he bought it from one of the parties, Your Honor. So applying the principle of transferring pendentility, he is bound by the decision of the regional trial court, Your Honor. The plaintiff, the respondent, Your Honor, informed, during the implementation, informed the implementing sheriff that he bought the property from Andam. And who is this Andam? He is part of the civil case 1370. Also, Your Honor, it is what it is. Meaning to say, Your Honor, when the respondent re-entered the property owned by the complainant, Your Honor, is already in possession. If he questions, Your Honor, the decision of the Supreme Court and the manner on which it was implemented, we submit that he must honor the decision of the Supreme Court and the lawful order of RTC Branch 17, and not just remove anything, abusing his authority, Your Honor, trespassing the property, destroying defense of the complainant, Your Honor, threatening the complainant that should the complainant re-enter the property, as stated in our complaint, Your Honor, these are the words of the respondent. Siya iti, Kapitan ditoy, awan ti maaramidan nyo. Kukwayo iti papel, ngem kukwak ti daga. Padasin nyo asiriken tadaga, tamakita yo. Matayak pay, sakbayo maala iti daga. This is unbecoming, Your Honor, of a punong barangay. He must respect the law. If he owns the land, file the proper case in court. Just like what the complainant did in this case, which took them more than 20 years, Your Honor, to assert their right, Your Honor. Almost 20 years, Your Honor. For the information also of the Honorable Court, Your Honor, the case was filed way back in the year 2006. And the respondent claims that he bought the property from Andam. But the documents that the complainant was able to secure was a deed of sale. Indeed, it was a deed of sale. But it is unsigned deed of sale, Your Honor. Andam did not sign that deed of sale. And what remedy did he do? He executed an extrajudicial settlement with sale, Your Honor. And the other heirs did not even sign, Your Honor. We don't even know if those signatures are real, Your Honor. Again, Your Honor, if the punong barangay claims ownership over the subject property, he must assert his right and go to the court to prove his claim, Your Honor, and not just abuse his authority, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you so much, Prosecution's Counsel. Defense Counsel, your rebuttal, please.
Your Honor, asserting one's right is not equivalent to abuse of authority. Your Honor, would like to point that out. We'd like to take exception from the wordings of the good counsel that respondent allegedly re-entered the subject property. No. He didn't even abandon it, Your Honor, because he was asserting his right of possession in his capacity as possessor, occupant, and owner, Your Honor. Even prior to the institution of the civil case in Branch 17, he and his relatives were already in actual, physical, open, continuous, and adverse possession of the subject property. But they were not impleaded as parte litigants in civil case number 1370. It should have been the lookout of the complainant, Your Honor, or the plaintiff, to determine who was the actual occupant or who were the actual occupants of the subject property at the time of the institution of the complaint. But he was not impleaded as parte litigant. Now, can you force him to abide by that decision of which he is not a privy or not a party litigant? Spare and fair, Your Honor, please. Is that considered already as abuse of authority? When he is asserting his right of possession? When he is asserting due process? Because he was not given opportunity to ventilate his side in that civil case number 1370. Can you equate that already with misconduct? Yeah. What is now the relationship between his performance of duty as public officer with that of his right as private citizen who is asserting his right of possession? It would be all, Your Honor.
Thank you so much, Defense Counsel. Meron po bang katanungan mula sa ating mga miyembro ng sanggunian? Para sa ating mga attorneys? Wala po. Sige po. Prosecution, please.
Aside, Your Honor, aside from dishonesty, oppression, and misconduct of office, Your Honor, we have also we submit that because of the actions committed by the respondent, he is also liable for commission of an offense involving moral turpitude, Your Honor. That is when he committed trespassing, malicious mischief, usurpation of real rights, Your Honor. The counsel for the respondent, Your Honor, asserts that the respondent was in possession of the property even before the execution of the writ, Your Honor. That is again incorrect, Your Honor. Because the respondent asserts that he owned the property or he owns the property because he bought it from Andam. The case was filed in the year 2006, Your Honor. And the deed of sale in which he claims is the basis of his ownership was only executed, Your Honor, in the year 2015, Your Honor. This is just to clarify, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Meron po ba kayong sagot doon, defense? Wala na po. Okay po. Sa ating mga miyembro ng kinatawan, meron po ba kayong tanong sa ating mga counsel? Wala po. Sige po, mag-proceed po tayo, sir, Mr. Counsels, sa pag-simplify ng issues at para yung mga relevant lamang na witnesses and pieces of evidence ang ipepresenta natin ngayong araw na ito with the objective na matapos rin natin ngayong araw na ito. Mr. Prosecution, pwede na po kayong umupo dyan at gamitin niyo po yung mic. Given po na narinig ninyo yung sagot ng depensa, ano po yung gusto ninyong ipresentang issue na gusto nating talakayin sa proceedings na to ngayong araw? At ano po yung mga admitted nila na mga facts or statements of law? Paki-on po yung mic ninyo, sir.
Our first proposal for stipulation, Your Honor, is that there is a final and executory judgment in civil case number 1370.
Defense, stipulate ka doon?
Is it admitted?
Do you stipulate, defense, na final and executory na yung judgment sa tinukoy nating civil case? Please turn on your mic, sir. Sorry. Please turn on your mic po.
Insofar as the defendants who actively participated in the proceedings in civil case number 1370, Your Honor, but not
Prosecution.
with respect to the heirs of Clemente Andam who had not been properly summoned thereto.
Yes, Your Honor. Our proposal is that there is a final and executory judgment in civil case 1370.
It's all right. We'll take official
Admit-
notice anyway. Hindi naman nila dinedeny yung fact na yun.
Yes, Your Honor. Number 2, Your Honor, is that the decision in civil case number 1370 was fully implemented, Your Honor.
Defense.
We do not admit that, Your Honor.
Prosecution, anong pong ibig sabihin ninyo na fully implemented? Ibig sabihin po ba na nakapag-take possession ang
Yes.
private complainant doon sa lupa?
Yes, thank you for that clarification, Your Honor. It was fully implemented, putting the complainant in possession of the subject property, and that the metes and bounds of the subject property was fully identified and fenced, Your Honor.
Alright, isa-isayin natin, hatiin natin.
Sige, Your Honor.
Identify mo muna yung property. Aling property yun?
The property subject in civil case number 1370, Your Honor.
Defense, yung property po ba na subject sa civil case, ay yun po ba yung ino-occupy ngayon ng ating respondent?
Your Honor, as I mentioned a while ago, there are several properties involved in case 1370. And one of which, that parcel of land consisting of more or less 9,000 square meters covered by the title of Clemente Andam, Your Honor. And this title is OCT number 21024, Your Honor. That portion is the one being occupied by the family of respondent, Your Honor. He's not only the one exclusive, or he is not the exclusive occupant of this area, because he is merely a member of the entire family. So the entire family that we are referring here is the family of Respicio. Yes, that's it.
Let me state the question. Yung mga pagmamayari na subject matter ng civil case na tinukoy natin, meron bang part doon na kasalukuyang ino-occupy ng respondent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pwede ba nating i-stipulate natin yun yung subject matter ng usapan natin ngayon?
Yes, Your Honor.
Alright. So na-identify na natin yung property na subject matter ng civil case, na final and executory, at sakop ng subject property na yun, yung mga property na ino-occupy ngayon ng respondent. Ngayon, yung stipulation mo pa na isa, Mr. Prosecution's Counsel, ay na since subject iyon ng civil case, ay yung mga property na yon, buong property na yon na subject ng civil case, nakasama na yung mga ino-occupy ng respondent ngayon, during the execution ng writ, ay nailipat sa possession ng private complainant. Tama?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Defense,
We
ano
do
po
not
masasabi?
admit that, Your Honor.
Hindi po nailipat.
The respondent and his family, Your Honor, were never evicted from the subject property. This property that we are referring to is that property covered by the title of Clement Andam. Your Honor.
Ulitin ko po. Yung property po na subject ng civil case ay maraming property.
Yes, yes, Your
At
Honor.
included sa mga property na iyon ay yung property na ino-occupy ngayon ng respondent.
Yes, Your Honor.
At ini-stipulate po natin na ang subject matter ng pinag-uusapan natin ngayong proceedings na ito ay yung mga properties na ino-occupy ngayon ng respondent na included doon sa civil case. Tama po?
Yes, Your Honor.
Opo, tama po. So ang tanong po ngayon, ang gusto pong i-propose for stipulation ng prosecution ay, noong nag-participate ba si respondent doon sa execution ng writ, may epekto ba iyon na inilipat yung mga subject property na yon na included ngayon sa subject matter ng ating proceedings doon sa nailipat sa possession ng private complainant?
No, no, Your Honor. No.
Ano po ang explanation ninyo? Bakit hindi?
Because the respondent, Your Honor, and his family members, Your Honor, remained in the area from the date when the alleged execution was implemented up to continuously, without interruption, Your Honor, were in possession. As well as that portion, Your Honor, being occupied by Joe Andre Respicio, Your Honor, pertaining to that possession of Kitoras. That portion, Your Honor, was never transferred to the complainant, even after the alleged implementation of the writ of execution.
Alright po. Sige, itry natin yan as issue, sir.
Yes.
As a question of fact.
Yes.
Okay po? And maybe some question of law din doon.
That's already established, Your Honor, that the property which the respondent re-entered is the same property which was part of the decision in Civil Case 1370. Because that property originally belonged to Andam, Your Honor.
I appreciate that, counsel. Na-stipulate na natin na yung ino-occupy ngayon na lupa is same subject matter ng nasa civil case at yun yung subject matter ng writ of execution. Ang sinasabi lang ngayon ng defense ay yung epekto ng writ of execution, yung implementation, ay walang effect yun legally na nagtatransfer ng possession yun kay private complainant. At anyway sir, tinitignan pa lang naman natin kung ano yung itatry natin ngayon na issues and malalaman natin yung sagot niyan mamaya. I-ferret out ninyo yung circumstances ng implementation ng writ para makita talaga natin ano yung katotohanan. Meron ba siyang effect in law na nalipat yung title or yung possession sa ating private complainant. Kaya po tayo nag-trial ngayon. So, sunod po tayo, yung susunod na stipulation nyo po.
That the subject land was fenced by the complainant, Your Honor.
Defense.
Your Honor, may we be specific? When we say subject land, are we referring to that portion covered by the
Entered.
title of Clement
Entered by
Andam,
the respondent.
or the entire land subject matter in civil case number 1370?
Alright, nagkakaintindihan na po tayo ngayon na yung subject matter ng nasa civil case ay maraming lupa.
Yes.
Pero contiguous yung lupa na iyon.
Yes, Your Honor.
Magkakadikit po.
Yes, Your Honor.
At yung hawak ngayon ng respondent na lupain ay pwedeng lahat iyon or just part of it.
Portion only.
Or portion, or just, or okay, a portion of it. So prosecution, ano ba yung tinutukoy mo? Yung buong lupa na subject?
Yes, Your Honor. That the subject land that I'm referring, Your Honor, is the land which was re-entered by the respondent, Your Honor,
Your Honor, we take
which originally belonged to Andam, which was covered by OCT number P-2 210.3.4, Your Honor.
Yes.
Defense.
We cannot stipulate in that manner, Your Honor, considering that, per our argument a while ago, the respondent and his family members did not vacate the subject property because they remained in possession, Your Honor. They are asserting their right of possession from the very start up to this time, Your Honor. So we cannot stipulate on the word re-enter because they did not vacate it, Your Honor.
Ano po ba yung bakod na ipinatayo ng private complainant? Yung buo, enclosed? Enclosed.
Yes, Your
Buong
Honor.
subject matter ng civil case ng mga property na yun, buong lupa nakabakod, paligid, perimeter.
Yes, Your Honor.
At dinedenay iyon. Meron bang tinatayong fence doon sa buong lupain na yun na subject ng civil case o wala? Yun lang ang stipulation. Meron po ba o wala? Inaamin niyo po ba na merong itinayong bakod doon o wala?
There is, Your Honor.
Yes or
but-
no only,
yes,
counsel, and then you can explain.
But there is no specific fence with respect to this specific property, Your Honor.
Ito lang po ang proposition for stipulation. Tinutukoy po natin yung subject matter ng civil case. Isa pong lupa iyon na kahit sabihin na natin nahati-hati ng iba't ibang titulo pero isang lupa na magkakadikit. Ang pinopropose po na stipulation ng prosecution ay yung boundaries ng buong lupa na iyon na dikit-dikit ay binakuran and closed. Yun lamang po ang pinapa-stipulate. Inaamin niyo po ba na merong bakod na ganoon na itinayo doon sa property na yun?
Your Honor, can we properly describe this kind of fence, Your Honor?
Propose, yes or no lang po, and then i-explain niyo po.
Yes. There is a fence.
Merong
But
fence.
can we specify what kind of fence
Explain,
is
sir.
it?
Go ahead, sir. Explain.
Yes. Can we specify what kind of fence is it? Whether it is a barbed wire, a concrete fence.
As we have stated in our verified administrative complaint, Your Honor, it is concrete post with barbed wire, Your Honor.
All right. Stipulated, admitted, meron, wala. Defense.
It was a temporary fence, Your Honor.
The proposition for stipulation is not conditioned about the permanence or non-permanence of the installed facility. Whether it was a fence, whether there was a fence or not. Just say yes or no, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
According to the respondent.
Go ahead with your proposed stipulation, sir.
That the property, the subject property, as we now establish, Your Honor,
Your Honor, please, to be specific, when the good counsel refers to the subject property, we are referring now to the property subject of the, or covered by the title of Clemente Andam.
I appreciate that, defense counsel. Just to be clear, we're talking about we describe two groups of properties which may include one another. One group of properties is that which was embraced by the civil case. Several contiguous properties covered by different titles. Now, included in that set of properties are the properties presently occupied by the respondent. So let's say that as another group of properties. So we can describe that as the properties presently occupied by the respondent.
yes, Your Honor.
And the first group of properties we can refer to as the property subject matter of the civil case.
Yes, Your Honor. For purposes of this proceedings, Your Honor, can we establish, Your Honor, that the subject property, if being referred, it refers to the property which was already fenced by the complainant and re-entered by the respondent, Your Honor.
We've already stipulated that the subject property in the civil case was altogether fenced and closed.
Yes, Your Honor.
So what's your next proposed stipulation, sir?
That the respondent entered the land which was already enclosed by virtue of the writ of execution, Your Honor.
Defense.
We do not admit that, Your Honor.
Baka gusto po ninyong i-restate yung proposal for stipulation, sir, na matapos ma-fence yung lupa, mga lupain, subject matter ng civil case, ay pumasok ang respondent
Yes, we can
doon,
simplify that, Your Honor. May we adopt that, Your Honor?
doon sa group of lots na presently occupied ng respondent. Defense. Matapos po ba na naitayo yung mga fence enclosing the whole set of properties covered by the civil case, ay pumasok ang respondent doon sa lupa na iyon, mga lupaing iyon?
We take exception to the word pumasok, Your Honor, because he remained in the area, Your Honor. He did not re-enter. He remained to be in possession, Your Honor.
Alright. Okay, maging issue natin po yan.
Yes.
Stipulation, sir.
That during the survey, Your Honor, concrete cylindrical posts were also installed, Your Honor, to delineate the property subject in the civil case, Your Honor.
Defense, please.
Are we referring to the entire property covered by this civil
Civil
case
case,
number
yes, yes.
1370?
Tinutukoy po niya yung kaparehong fence. Yung fence po ay concrete posts and barbed wires.
Mohon, Your Honor. The Mohon. Mohon.
Mohon.
Concrete cylindrical post,
Yes.
Your Honor.
Opo.
But
So-
but not specifically enclosing the subject property.
It was fenced na nga.
Fence po, enclosed po yung stipulation.
Aside from the fence, there was concrete cylindrical posts.
Mohon,
Stone.
you're talking about Mohon, sir?
Yes, the Mohon, Your Honor.
Merong nailagay na Mohon.
Yes, Your Honor.
Minamark yung boundaries ng subject property sa civil case.
Yes, Your Honor, because there was a geodetic engineer who attended the implementation, Your Honor.
Opo, yun po yung proposition for stipulation, sir. Meron daw linagay na Mohon doon sa subject matter ng civil case.
We do not admit that, Your Honor. We do not have personal knowledge, Your Honor.
And, Your Honor, there was a notice or signage stating that the property has been a subject of a civil case and the complainant were placed in possession of the property, Your Honor, in civil case number 1370, Your Honor.
Subject to proof, Your Honor, it is a factual issue. We do not admit that.
We can, it's, I don't agree, Your Honor, because the proof is the records of civil case number 1370, Your Honor. We don't have to settle that issue anymore, Your Honor.
Gawin po nating question of law yun, ay question of fact yun. Mag-testify po yung mga witness mamaya to prove the fact. Go ahead, move on with your next stipulation, Counsel.
Yes, Your Honor, that the defense, which is concrete post and barbed wire, the concrete cylindrical post or mohon, and the notice, signage for notice, Your Honor, were destroyed, Your Honor.
Defense?
Subject to proof also, Your Honor.
All right,
Sa
denied.
issue.
That this concrete post, cylindrical post, and notice are no longer existing in the land subject in civil case number 1370, Your Honor.
Defense?
The respondent has no personal knowledge about that, Your Honor. Please. His only concern is the Andam estate. Your Honor.
Alright, prosecution, baka gusto mo pong mag-proceed sa gusto nating i-decide na question of law para po maklinch natin yung liability kung meron man ng respondent.
Yes, Your Honor. With the actions committed by the respondent, the facts and circumstances of which was detailed in the verified administrative complaint, Your Honor, whether or not the respondent is liable for dishonesty, oppression, misconduct in office, commission of offense involving moral turpitude, and abuse of authority, Your Honor.
Okay po. Defense, meron po ba kayong propositions? And gusto po ninyong talakayin natin na issues of fact and law?
Yes, Your Honor, please. Whether the respondent is bound by the decision of the Regional Trial Court, Branch 17, in civil case number 1370, considering that he was not impleaded as party litigant. Your Honor.
Okay.
Actual issue, whether or not the respondent was in actual, exclusive, notorious, adverse, and continuous possession of the subject property even prior to the institution of the complaint in civil case number 1370. Whether or not, by reason of the alleged implementation of the writ of execution, respondent vacated the subject property. Your Honor. Whether or not, Your Honor, respondent was invited by the sheriff in his capacity as the actual occupant or possessor of the subject property at the time of the alleged implementation of the writ of execution, or in his capacity only as barangay captain.
Prosecution, ano po bang stipulation natin doon? Pumunta po ba siya doon bilang person na interested doon sa litigation or in his official capacity as barangay captain?
Both, Your Honor. In his position as barangay captain and a person in interest of the subject property in civil case 1370, Your Honor.
Sige po. Go ahead, defense.
That would be all, Your Honor.
Alright. Sige po. Maraming salamat po sa parehong counsel sa pagtulong nyo sa atin na ma-join natin yung issues at mapag-usapan lang natin yung mga issues in contention. Question po ng fact at question po ng law.
Your Honor, please.
Go ahead, Mr. Defense.
Considering that we are dealing here the cause why respondent is being heard before this august body for administrative proceedings, it's because of the pending, because of that civil case number 1370. May we now stipulate with the prosecution, Your Honor, with respect to the following, Your Honor.
With respect to?
With respect to the following stipulation.
Go ahead, sir.
One of the defendants in civil case number 1370 are the heirs of Clemente Andam as represented by Leticia Andam. Would the prosecution stipulate in that manner? Yes.
Yes, Your Honor. It's in the decision, Your Honor.
Yes. And that not even one of the heirs of Clemente Andam, or specifically Leticia Andam, participated in the proceedings in civil case number 1370? Would the prosecution stipulate in that manner?
We denied it, Your Honor.
They did not.
No,
No. Would the prosecution stipulate that there
it's
was
not.
no?
They did not. They participated, Your Honor.
Would the prosecution stipulate that there was no publication by summons? There was no summons by publication, I should say, insofar as defendant heirs of Clemente Andam, represented by Leticia Andam.
Your Honor, may I also manifest, Your Honor, that these matters, Your Honor, are not proper subject of these proceedings, Your Honor. Because the main issue in this case is whether or not the respondent committed the offenses as we have enumerated in our complaint, Your Honor. Whether or not the writ of execution was implemented, and whether or not the decision of the case is final and executory, and whether or not the complainant was put in possession over the property subject in civil case 1370, Your Honor. We don't have to dwell on the publication of the summons or whatever, Your Honor. We submit, Your Honor.
All right. Well taken, prosecution. Isa-summarize ko po mamaya yung issue na itatakil natin. Go ahead, defense.
Because, Your Honor, this administrative proceeding traces its roots from civil case number 1370, and how was this civil case 1370 allegedly implemented by Sheriff of Branch 17 RTC Ilagan. So we have to dwell on the validity of the implementation of the writ, and we have also to dwell on the effect of this writ of execution, insofar as the respondent is concerned in his capacity as private individual and as occupant of that subject property covered by the title of Clemente Andam, Your Honor. Our contention is that insofar as the respondent is concerned, he is not affected by the decision of the court in civil case number 1370, because after all, he was not impleaded as party litigant. And even if one of the dependents there, in the person of Clemente Andam or his heir, Leticia Andam, was impleaded in the complaint, yet there was no proof that this Leticia Andam actively participated in the proceedings because she was not duly summoned by the Honorable Court. And this can be seen through the return of service issued by Sheriff Malana. It's very clear here, Your Honor. And we will be submitting proof to this effect. This return of service of Sheriff Malana dated June 23, 2006, wherein the summons and complaints insofar as Leticia Andam is concerned was unserved. We'll be marking it later on, Your Honor.
Prosecution.
Yes, Your Honor. Again, Your Honor, there is already a final and executory judgment that even reached the Supreme Court, Your Honor. It was duly implemented. The complainant were put in possession. The property was fenced. There is no more question, Your Honor, as to the validity in the implementation of the writ. Our position is, if the respondent have questions in the implementation of the writ, Your Honor, he must go to court, Your Honor, and not simply destroy and re-enter the fence of the complainant and re-enter the property already fenced during the implementation of the writ, Your Honor.
Meron pa po bang propositions? Defense?
As of the moment, none, Your Honor.
Wala na po. Sige po, mag-adjust na lang po tayo. Isa-summarize ko po. Any pleasure, prosecution? Wala na po.
No more, Your Honor.
Questions for our counsels from the body, please?
Mr. Presiding Officer,
Honorable Tony Apostol.
yes, well, just a clarification, Mr. Presiding Officer, and I would like to have this addressed to the counsel of the defense. Sir, during the implementation of the writ of execution, kung saan po covered po yung ino-occupy kasalukuyan ni Punong Barangay Henry Respicio. And if the occupant believes po that the writ of execution was improperly executed, nagkaroon po ba ng initiative ang respondent to file at least a motion to quash the writ of execution?
There was none, Your Honor. As I mentioned a while ago, he is not schooled in the art of legal procedure. For him to know what is specific legal remedy he has to employ under the circumstances.
And now that he is being represented by a counsel, we are interested to know po, after po ng lahat ng mga nangyari, wala po bang action na gustong gawin si respondent to file this motion, sir?
Yes, as I mentioned a while ago, Your Honor, considering that we already secured the complete records in civil case number 1370, and this representation, Your Honor, was able to talk via cell phone with a court personnel at Branch 17 RTC Ilagan City pertaining to whether or not there was summons by publication. And instead of answering this representation, I was furnished a copy of a return of service of summons, wherein it is specifically stated here that insofar as defendant Leticia Andam is concerned, the summons in the complaint was not duly served to her. So, in effect, she did not participate in any manner in the proceedings in civil case number 1370, Your Honor. And we would like to reiterate, Your Honors, that respondent derived, and his family members, Your Honor, derived the right of possession and ownership over the subject property from Clemente Andam, Your Honor. So that's our bone of contention. So we will be employing legal remedies under the circumstances in due time, Your Honor, after the proceedings here. Because the respondent just engaged the services of this legal representation just recently, actually, Your Honor. How many days back?
Okay. Thank you so much for the answer, counsel. And for the next question, I would like to ask the counsel of the prosecution. Sir, with regards po dun sa invitation po sa Punong Barangay Henry Respicio in the execution, sa writ of execution implementation. And you mentioned a while ago that he was invited in his capacity as a Punong Barangay and at the same time as a concerned individual po.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have a copy of the order or the invitation to the Punong Barangay na naka-specify po that in his capacity as Punong Barangay and as a concerned individual?
It was reflected in the sheriff's return of service, Your Honor.
Okay. Reflected in his report, sir. Tama
Yes,
po ba? But prior to the submission of the report of the sheriff po, syempre, was he invited personally ng verbal lang or through a communication letter?
He was invited by the sheriff personally. Yes, Your Honor. In his position as Punong Barangay, Your Honor. And if I may add, when the writ of execution was implemented, the respondent told the sheriff that he owns the portion of that property being fenced, Your Honor, is owned by him. That is why the sheriff also served him a copy of the writ of implementation to advise him that the same is subject of a final and executory judgment that even reached the Supreme Court, Your Honor.
I understand that, Mr. Counsel. But during the pag-serve ng writ of execution, his name was not mentioned in the order. Tama po ako. And he was only invited at that time because the sheriff was surprised na covered po yung kasalukuyang ino-occupy ni Punong Barangay.
As reflected in the writ, Your Honor, in the return of service.
Yes, gusto ko lang po sana ma-establish din na the reason why the Punong Barangay was invited during that time was that in his capacity as Punong Barangay and at the same time as a concerned individual po doon sa. So, nagre-reflect lang siya kanyo po sa service report ni Sheriff but there was no communication letter at all. Verbal lang po.
I'm not particularly aware of that, sir,
Yes.
Your Honor.
Yes po. Just in case you have a file copy po, please submit din po to this body.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. That would be all for now, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Meron pa po bang katanungan mula sa ating miyembro ng kinatawan? Wala na po. Sige po. Maraming salamat po sa parehong counsel sa pagtulong ninyo ng ating pag-filter ng issues. Ito po, ang pagkakaintindi ko, isa-isahin po natin yung mga charges na pinesenta ng prosecution. Unahin ko po sa commission of offense involving moral turpitude. Ano po ba ang posisyon natin dito? Required ba ng final conviction sa court of law para ma-find na guilty yung respondent dito or substantial evidence lamang? Pwede bang mag-agree yung dalawang counsel? Para kapag nag-agree kayo na kailangan ng formal, depende sa state ng jurisprudence, ay itadrap natin yung charges.
Crime involving moral turpitude, Your Honor. I believe, or we submit, Your Honor, that the preponderance of evidence required, or quantum of evidence required is, for the purposes of these proceedings, Your Honor, is only substantial evidence, Your Honor, as will be proven later on by the witnesses of the complainant, Your Honor.
Defense, substantial evidence or conviction by court of law?
Substantial evidence, Your Honor.
Alright. So, kailangan magpresenta ng ebidensya mamaya. Kailangan ko pong ipaliwanag ito, mga kasama, sa ating mga miyembro ng sanggunian dahil hindi po lahat kami ay abogado dito sa council para po magabayan sila sa proper na pag-decide mamaya. So, para po sa charge na commission of a crime involving moral turpitude, kung magpresenta po sila ng sapat na ebidensya na ang respondent ay nag-commit ng krimen na pagpasok sa isang binakuran na lupain na hindi sa kanya. Isa po yun, malinaw na po yun. Dininay po na hindi daw siya pumasok dahil nasa loob na siya. Yan po patutunayan natin mamaya. Yung isa naman po ay theft or malicious mischief, yung sinira yung mga muhon at mga signages. Ayun po, dininay din po iyon. Pero kung napatunayan, kung sa tingin po ng ating mga hukom mamaya na sapat ang testimonya ng mga witness at ebidensya at naniniwala sila na kahit itinanggi ng respondent na nangyari iyon, pero base sa testimonya at mga ebidensya ay kapanipaniwalang nangyari nga ang mga iyon, pwede nilang sabihin na meron ngang theft or malicious mischief or paninira ng mga bagay na iyon. Yung isa naman, usurpation of real rights, ibig sabihin, kapag ang pagmamay-ari ay nasa isang tao na maliban sa respondent, pero inagaw ng respondent yung mga karapatan ng isang taong iyon over sa isang real property. Okay po. Punta naman po tayo sa dishonesty. Yung dishonesty, oppression as misconduct in office, lump po yun as isa. Kailangan po natin silang ilump as isa dahil po sa ating pagpataw ng mga penalty, maximum kada charge is 60 days. So ilan po natin yung tatlo na iyon. Yung dishonesty prosecution, anong particular act na hindi siya naging makatotohanan? Saan siya nagsinungaling? Saan siya hindi naging honest sa kanyang mga transaction na tinukoy ninyo?
By feigning his ignorance, Your Honor, that the writ of execution was not served to him, Your Honor. It was only served to him in his personal capacity, and that it was only served to him as a witness to the implementation of the writ, Your Honor.
Okay. Oppression naman. Anong pang-aapi ang kanyang ginawa?
As we've stated in our complaint, Your Honor, when he wrestled possession over the property, Your Honor, by destroying the defense of the complainant, the notices and the concrete cylindrical post, and making, by force, Your Honor, and making threats and intimidation to the person of the complainant, Your Honor.
Alright. And misconduct of office tsaka abuse of authority. I think yung complaint mo naman, it speaks for itself. O sige po, i-restate ko lang po yung theory ng case ng prosecution at sabihin po natin kung yun yung accurate. Ang case po ng prosecution ay meron na pong kaso na na-decide tungkol sa isang grupo ng lupa. At ilan sa parte ng isang buong lupa na iyon ay kiniklaim ng respondent. Pero tapos na po yung kaso. May utos na po yung court. May writ of execution na. At ang writ of execution, ibig sabihin, pinapatupad na ng batas kung ano ang napag-decidean finally ng ating gobyerno tungkol sa dispute na iyon. At gawain iyon ng sheriff. At as a matter of fact, gawain yun ng barangay captain na i-oversee yung tamang implementation ng ating mga batas. Dahil ang isang desisyon na final and executory ay merong force of law. At noong na-execute, yung writ of execution, na-execute siya ng maayos. At may epekto na yung buong property na yon na subject ng civil case ay nailipat sa kamay ng private complainant. Nasa kanya na yung property na yun. Wala na sa kamay ng kahit na sino mang tao. Kasama na yung respondent, kasama na yung kapitbahay, at kasama na ang iba. Dahil nasa kamay niya na, hawak niya na, at possess niya na yung lupa, binakuran niya yung lupa. Barbed wire at mga poste. At meron ding nailagay na mga muhon para sure yung boundaries ng lupang iyon. Pero ang nangyari, sabi ng complainant, ay pagkatapos ma-set up yung pader at mga muhon at pati yung mga signage na nagsasabing sila na yung naka-occupy doon at ina-exclude yung mga tao sa labas, ay pumasok pa rin sa lupain na iyon ang respondent. At sinira yung signs, tinanggal ang mga muhon at sinira yung fence. At sabi ng complainant, doon nagkulang ang respondent. Dahil sa kanyang ginawang iyon ay inabuso niya ang kanyang otoridad at inapi niya ang private respondent. Bakit? Kasi bilang isang government official, barangay official, lalo na't ikaw ang barangay captain, dapat alam mo ang batas. Ikaw ang unang tagapagtanggol ng batas. At proprotektahan mo ang mamamayan ng ating bansa laban sa mga mang-aapi at hindi ikaw ang mang-aapi. At respetuhin mo ang epekto ng batas. Kaya nung inilipat yung property sa kamay ng private complainant, respetuin mo yon sa pamamagitan ng hindi mo pag-derogate ng epekto ng writ. Huwag mong kontrahin yung epekto ng successful implementation ng writ. Yun yung claim ng prosecution. Kinontra mo eh. Tapos na. Nailipat na sa kamay ng isang tao ang isang property. Bakit mo babaliktarin ang epekto ng batas? At sa proseso ng pagbaliktad mo ng epekto ng batas, ay sinabing inabuso ang iyong hawak na official position. Dahil sinabi mo na ako ang kapitan dito, wala kayong magagawa. Hawak nyo ang papel, pero akin ang lupa. Subukan ninyong pasukin at makikita ninyo, mamamatay ako bago nyo pa makuha ang lupa. O, yun po. Inabuso ang kanyang official na posisyon para kontrahin ang epekto ng batas. Ngayon, ang depensa naman ng ating respondent ay, una sa lahat, yung writ of execution na ginawa ay walang epekto sa respondent. Dahil hindi naman siya party doon sa case. May irregularity doon sa civil case, kaya hindi daw siya bound doon. At i-question daw nila yung validity ng case na yun in the future. Secondly, inamin nila na napaderan yung lupain pagkatapos ng implementation ng writ. Pero walang epekto iyon na ma-exclude sila doon sa lupain na yon dahil all throughout ay naka-occupy sila effectively sa lupain na iyon. Hindi ko alam kung paano magiging epektibo yun sa totoong buhay. Matatanong natin yan mamaya kung nandun sila all those time habang pinapaderan at nandun sila pa rin sa loob. At hindi sila kailanman umalis sa lupa. So dalawa po yun po ang issue actually. Hindi siya bound ng decision dahil walang due process. At yung execution ng writ ay walang effect na dispossessed sila sa lupa. Ngayon po, yung capacity niya as observant doon sa implementation ng writ as private individual or interested party or as a public official na may responsibility sa pag-oversee ng proper implementation ng batas ay isa rin nating i-question mamaya. Sige po, tatlo po yung main issue yung issue ko po. Accurate ba yun, councils? More or less. Right? So, ang issue lang na itatackle natin is question of law, number 1. Hindi na kailangan ng witness dito. I-argue nyo mamaya sa closing arguments whether or not bound ba siya, si respondent, doon sa writ or hindi. May obligasyon ba siyang sumunod sa writ? Madali lang i-prove yun. Question of law. May obligasyon ba? Para po sa gabay ng ating mga hukom ngayon, kapag meron pong isang ostensible na legal paper or document na nagbibigay ng authority or power at valid naman siya, may presumption of regularity. So, maybe the obligation to follow that regardless kung ano man ang nangyari sa ilalim na fraud na allegation, already attached, especially kung ikaw yung public official. So, that's a question of law. I-argue nyo mamaya sa closing argument. Ngayon naman, yung question of fact, or baka question of law nga rin ito kasi inamin naman na nabakuran yung lupa. Ngayon, papatunayan ng depensa kung bakit walang epekto ng dispossession yun sa respondent nung binakuran. Paano masasabi na nandun ka pa rin all throughout? Na yung proper implementation ng writ ay walang legal effect na dispossess yung respondent doon. Such that kung walang dispossession, walang illegal re-entry. Yun yung kailangan yung patunayan. At yung pangatlong issue is question of law. Mas mabigat ba or mas magaan ang accountabilidad ng isang barangay captain na nung nag-participate siya sa implementation ng writ of execution ay nandun siya bilang barangay captain or bilang interested party lamang? Hindi ba't mas mabigat ang obligasyon sa kanyang balikat kapag siya ay nagsaserve as barangay official noong binabantayan niya ang proper na pag-implement ng isang proseso ng batas? At lalo na kokontrahin mo yun pagdating mamaya. So meron po tayong mga questions of fact and law. Ma-address po natin yan sa closing arguments mamaya para sa liwanag ng ating mga miyembro ng kinatawan. Sige po, nakita niyo na po yung specific issues, more or less, doon tayo iikot. And sino po ang ipepresent nating mga witness? Tawagin niyo na po yung una niyong witness, prosecution.
Your Honor, may we ask for continuance considering that we have other cases in court, Your Honor, to attend to?
We have also a case there.
Meron ka rin case, sir?
12
Alright.
o'clock, Your Honor.
O, sige po. Anong gusto ng ating kinatawan?
Continuance.
Mag-motion kayo ng
Your Honor.
i-adjourn muna natin to and next time na lang. Mag-schedule tayo.
On joint motion of the prosecution and
Yes,
the
Your
defense, Your Honor, may we pray for continuance, Your Honor, please? Considering that it's already 11 o'clock, 11:30 o'clock in the morning, Your Honor, and we have still equally
Equally
important
important.
undertakings this afternoon, Your Honor.
Alright. There is a motion. Body. Yung body po ang magde-decide. Meron po bang objection mula sa ating kinatawan? Wala po. Wala po ang naririnig. Makaka-receive na lang po kayo ng notice, sir, about sa next hearing.
Your Honor, may we have some suggestions?
Go ahead, sir.
That instead of having an oral closing argument, may we be given time to submit our respective position papers, Your Honor?
Mas gusto po,
Insofar as the legal arguments are concerned, because we will be citing applicable laws and jurisprudence, Your Honor, for the appreciation of this august body, Your Honor, please.
magde-decide po ang body tungkol dyan. Pero as of now po, ang aming stand ay interesado po ang public dito sa matter na ito. Hindi po ito private na issue between private individuals. Ito po ay isang public na issue. At isang political process din po ito. At interesado po ang ating publiko na makita na tama ang ating ginagawa. At ang pinaka-efficient na paraan para maintindihan nila na tama ang ating ginagawa at tama ang dinidispense nating katarungan ay kapag nakikita nilang ino-oral natin ang ating mga arguments. Dahil po hindi naman sila sanay na magbasa ng mga technicalities sa papel. Kaya po kung oral arguments lang din po kung yung mga jurisprudence nilang din po, yung inyong mga citations ang inyong inaalala, i-memorize nyo na lang po. At wag po kayong mag-alala, pwede nyo po akong i-correct kung mali po yung aking mag-motion for reconsideration na lang kayo kapag mali yung aking disposition ng inyong motion, kapag mali yung hinold ko na position pagdating sa isang question of law. Kahit procedural. Basta mag-prepare lang po kayo orally lahat. Kasi po pagdating sa huli, kaya ko po piniperso ko kayo mag-oral ngayon at oral lahat ng process natin, pati yung presentation ng witness at walang kasulatan para po maintindihan ng ating mga husgado ngayon at ng publiko. Pagdating po sa huli, boboto po sila at i-explain po nila kung ano yung stand nila pagdating sa mga issues na ipresenta ko. At kung ano man po ang ma-hold na boto sa bawat charge, kung guilty or not, yun po ang madadala. At magde-decide din po kami about sa appropriate na penalty sa tamang panahon. Kaya po, pasensya na po, wala po tayong nakasulat na procedures pagdating dito. Kaya general customary practices na lamang ng due process ang ating ina-apply. And at the end of the day, ang position po ng kinatawan nito ang siyang masusunod. And I think na dinadalo ko po ang kanilang position. Unless mag-o-object po sila at i-question nila yung mga position na hinuhold ko. Go ahead, prosecution.
Your Honor, maybe just like what they do in during the Senate hearings, Your Honor, can we just prepare the affidavits of our witnesses, Your Honor, and so that during the conduct of the next hearing, Your Honor, we'll just be asking questions to the witnesses.
As I said, counsel, I'm sorry, but I'd like to do it orally. Para po, kasi napapanood po ng public. Ayoko po na merong may makalagpas na step tayong ginagawa na hindi ma-examine ng public. Ini-scrutinize po tayo ng public. Kapag linagay po ninyo sa isang affidavit, yung direct examination or isang step ng ating quasi-judicial process, baka hindi po mapansin ng publiko iyon. Kaya po gusto kong mabantayan ng publiko ang lahat ng ating ginagawa. Dahil wala naman po tayong tinatago. Tinatry po naman natin na maging fair tayo sa bawat hakbang. Kung meron po kaming pagkukulang, i-point out nyo po. At magde-decide po ang kinatawan.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we ask for the resetting, date of resetting?
Yes, i-adjourn po natin ang proceedings natin ngayon. Makaka-receive na lang po kayo ng notice about sa susunod na hearing dates, sir. Hanggat maaari po sana, yun nga po ang iniisip ko na gawin po nating example itong procedure na ito na mabilis pong matapos. Iniisip ko po sana na matapos ngayong araw na ito pero wala po akong magagawa kung meron kayong ibang mga engagements. Pero gawin sana natin example ito sa ibang mga branches ng government na ang isang mga judicial process, mga dispute ay pwede nating mapag-usapan ng mabilis at matapos agad-agad para hindi ma-stress yung respondent tsaka yung complainant at hindi rin sila mapagastos sa abogado sa kada appearance. Kaya po, sige, hanggang sa susunod na lang po, maging handa na lang po kayo ulit na dalhin ang inyong mga witness at mga pieces of evidence and then magde-decide na lang po tayo next time. Hanggat maaari po, matapos na natin sa susunod na araw. I-reserve nyo na po yung inyong buong umaga.
Your Honor, it may be possible kasi na yung isa-set to na hearing, it will be in conflict of our prior commitments. So, can we have a tentative date or a date for the hearing, Your Honor?
I appreciate that, Counsel. Hindi po kami prepared about sa calendar ngayon, pero mag-reach out na lang po yung staff namin sa inyo.
Okay.
Tawag na lang po sa inyo, and kapag swak po tayo sa araw at oras, saka na lang po namin i-finalize yung notice na
Yes,
ibigay
Your
sa inyo.
Your Honor, please, may we be furnished copies of the minutes of the proceedings today so that we have basis also for our closing arguments, Your Honor, please?
I'm sorry, sir.
Considering that
Wala
there
po
are
kami
several issues raised by both parties, Your Honor.
I appreciate that, sir. Wala po kaming official procedures and rules about sa pag-keep ng minutes. So, kung ano lang po ang nangyayari sa atin ngayon. Unless you can cite a concrete basis in law that we are required to do that. So, wala kaming procedure about that. So, dapat, obligation ninyo as counsel na lahat ng representation ninyo every time na nagsasalita kayo dito sa ating proceedings na hindi ninyo misrepresent yung mga nangyari in the past. Or napag-usapan natin kung ano mang what happened or what transpired in the past days of the proceedings.
Your Honor, we noticed that the proceedings is being off the record.
Yeah, just go ahead. Just go ahead.
May video po tayo, or may we be given a copy of the video?
Nakapublish po yan sa Facebook for 30 days. Yes. Yes, I understand na, I know this is something new to all of us, but new things are exciting and they make the most impact. And Council ng Reyna Mercedes, we want to make an impact. We want to make a change, a shift in culture. So we're doing this for maximal effect.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Bawa.
mukha yatang may mga important na laga dito mga defense counsel, both sides, the respondent and the complainant. So, I now move to adjourn this court until this confirmation to be announced by the presiding officer.
All right, thank you everyone. These proceedings are adjourned until the next schedule, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.